Excited to have session starting back up. A lot of good things going on, a lot of things to take care of from unfinished business last year. Well, I think it's a positive step forward for Minnesota that we have a DFL majority in the House and a DFL governor again. I think we will be focusing on issues that are very important to Minnesotans, whether it is tax conformity, environment, healthcare, and transportation. These are issues that I know will be taking a top priority in the legislature and in the governor's office this year. Well, I'm very optimistic about this upcoming legislative session. It is a budget year, and so we have the main purpose of this session is to set the biennial budget for the state of Minnesota, which exceeds over $40 billion for 2 years, and that's going to be the major focus. We have a lot of things that were left undone last session because of the failed approach of an omnibus prime, what was deemed omnibus prime. That was a 1,000-page omnibus bill that had policy and finance, everything from agriculture to workforce development in it, which was vetoed because of the process. And there are a lot of actually good things in that bill that really would have helped Minnesotans. And so I hope that we take those agreed upon topics and send them as standalone bills to have an up and down vote throughout the legislature and on to Governor Walz's desk. And so that's what I hope we kind of start off with to get some momentum and bipartisan collaboration going in the session. And then throughout the session, we'll be working on the budget and tax conformity. I'm hopeful will be another top priority. But I think we're going to be busy, and we hopefully won't leave everything until the end. I'm hopeful that we won't, with new players and team members, if you will, in the legislature and governor's office. I'm hoping we can kind of start a new tradition of kind of getting things done as they come up. So the state is required to present 2 budget forecasts a year, one in November and one in February. And so the November forecast is kind of a preliminary framework, if you will, for our budget. And it had a positive balance of $1.5 billion. But we have to be careful. It's always good news to have a positive balance, but a lot of that is one-time money. Some of that has to go into our budget reserves. And then you also should account for inflation in that revenue. And so to me, that it's not as large as $1.5 billion. And so we have to use caution and proceed with caution. A lot of that growth was because of a strong economy, and that was due to investments of the Dayton administration, which we're thankful for, that we're able to start this biennial budget process with a positive balance. But you can't use one-time money for ongoing programming. That's not fiscally responsible. So I think protecting the integrity of the stability of our budget is important, and long-term strength for this state's economy is a top priority. And so let's have some hearings. Let's hear from the administration on their thoughts. Let's work together. Let's hear from Minnesotans on their priorities for the budget. And let's hear from organizations that are directly impacted by our decisions, such as schools, colleges and universities, farmers, and workers that build our infrastructure. One of my priorities is going to be corrections funding. I was very upset at a lot of the incidences and tragedies that happened in our correctional department over the interim and over this last year. And so I intend on introducing an appropriation bill that will help with hiring additional correctional officers and appropriate money for additional technology that is needed, and maybe some policy changes that are also needed. I would like to look at how we are going to expand our bus system, our regular route bus service. One of the key projects in Cottage Grove, Newport, St. Paul Park area is the Red Rock Corridor. And I would like to make sure that we can get all-day bus service that serves our area and our workers and our workforce and our businesses. Additionally, school safety is a big concern for myself, and I would like to propose legislation again this year. It's bipartisan legislation that has threat assessment teams in our schools so that we can work to prevent tragedies that have happened over the years that are just unnecessary. And so let's work together to stop those tragedies in our schools. I feel that Minnesota is in a unique perspective that we can really rise above what's going on nationally in politics. And, you know, we're Minnesota nice, and we need to take care of Minnesotans, make sure our economy has a strong environment to flourish and to succeed, and that everybody has an opportunity to achieve that American dream. And I really feel that Minnesota can work together across the aisle on issues that we agree upon. I have faith in Governor Walz, in Speaker Hortman, in Majority Leader Gazelka, and all of us, that we can work together across the aisle to deliver for Minnesotans, because that's what our job is here, is to listen and then deliver for Minnesotans on priorities that they have spoke to us about so that we can put Minnesota in the best possible spot.